Today I am with Amina Ghaly, head designer at Azza Fahmy, and we have a very, very special opportunity to have a look at the Gypsy Collection, which is the latest collection at Azza Fahmy. Why the Gypsy for this latest collection?
How the modern day woman is represented in that.
Okay.
We call them the modern day nomads. If you look at women today, they're travelers. They're all about the experience. They're all about expressing their freedom, their character, everything.
Okay.
So that was the theme, and when we came to look at it, it was very essential for us to assess what was going on within the Gypsy woman and look how that manifests into jewelry.
Okay.
Within every collection, there's different stories.
Okay.
So when we're looking now at the eye story, which we did in a kind of a surreal way. If you look at the earrings, the eyebrows are slightly extended. There's a teardrop. We did a lot of the stars representing the teardrop. So you see several pieces and several.
Why the star?
Stars are always fashionable and they're always iconic.
We've seen the stars before with Azza Fahmy.
Exactly. The earrings that you're wearing is one of my favorite pieces, to be honest. Statement, beautiful, easy to wear, and you're wearing a simple shirt. It's got champagne diamonds, rubies. You can dress it up, dress it down, and to me there's consistency. We've been doing stars for so long. I always like to take a thread and then continue with it.
Yeah, I love that. I love that about this collection.
Also, one of my favorites for second story is the back to classics, which is like the ring that I'm wearing.
Okay.
And the Wonder Woman cuff. Again, the Wonder Woman cuff is all about strength, independence, freedom, and I love it has a quote from Rumi at the back. كل الناس تسمع صوتي إلا أنت تسمع قلبي. It's one of my favorite quotes for Rumi. And again, it's one of those pieces that you can dress it up, dress it down, very easy to wear. The piece that you're wearing is one of the most famous Indonesian bangle inspirations. And if you look at the back, it's slightly thin from the back, and then it starts to expand and makes it much larger on the top. We did a lot of floral motifs inspired by a lot of lace. We looked a lot on Victorian lace and got our inspiration from there.
Okay.
This is one of my favorite colors. It's a Rajasthani inspired color. And what I like about it is that every time I come to design now, I think of the modern day woman.
Okay.
She has no time to dress up. She's running around, she's running errands, she's going to work. She has no time for...
And she has to be a million things in one.
So
you have to wake up and be ready for what you're going to wear at 9 p.m. at 9 a.m. So.
Exactly. And you have no time to have someone fit a necklace on or fit a bracelet on, and with this technique it's a very simple, you can put it on in 2 seconds. It's one of those pieces that you can wear in the morning on a t-shirt to work, you can wear at night to an event, dinner, wedding, anything.
Why don't you walk us through this? This is like so much.
So obviously there's a much wider range here than the one that was available in the shop.
Yeah. Is this the full collection?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's the full collection.
Okay.
I want to walk you actually through the process because it's a very long process and a lot of people don't understand the research that comes behind every piece.
Very true.
We work with a very strong group of trend forecasters and fashion stylists, and together we come up with what is the main trend in the next couple of years. And together we see what fits the Azza Fahmy brand. That takes about 2 to 3 months because you're looking at global trends, movies, books, museums, architecture, politics, economy, everything. After that, you have to start analyzing what's going on in the catwalk.
Okay.
Because what's going on in your clothes, that's what's going to relate to the jewelry that you're going to wear. You have a lot of layers and things that are close and you expect stuff to be long, vice versa. If there's a lot of skin, you would find more daintier pieces and pieces that would go with your skin, and so on. And then when I start to design, I start to think of who's going to wear me. What does she look like? What's her profile? What is the size? For something like, for instance, these earrings, I wanted something in full solid gold. Yes, I absolutely do love color, but sometimes gold is just so much easier to wear because you don't have that limitation of color. So you start saying, okay, I'm looking for a medium-sized gold earring that has an eye theme. Okay, what next? Maybe I want it round, maybe I want it square, triangle, etc. And then you start to draw the lines. I keep tracing over and over and over rough sketches just for you to understand how I put the composition of the external lines. And then basically this is the end product. And if you compare the end product to the sketch is almost pretty detailed down to the last.
It's pretty identical. Can you talk to us more about, once again, the stones that have been integrated in this kind of collection? Okay, we've seen for the first time pearls, and I can only see one piece with the pearls, but pearls are actually quite popular with Azza Fahmy.
Pearls will always be popular and trendy. There's always a misconception that pearls are for an older generation.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
I think in the last 5-6 years, the younger generation is slowly breaking that thing that younger
kind of
people are
barrier.
exactly, that barrier. They're becoming a lot more trendy. They're easier to wear, and honestly, they're timeless. So in every collection, I always like to introduce one pearl piece.
And can you talk to us about the detail with the silver pieces themselves?
We're using, there was a lot of references of rope on the catwalks, and I wanted to put rope or integrate rope, but in a very different way. So we're using a lot of twisted wire. We call that silk maftool, and we used a lot of the floral motifs as well, which is consistent within the entire collection. So you can have like a thread that goes between each piece, and then you can identify with the collection by seeing the motif.
Okay.
But this is a very old technique that my mother used to use in the 70s and 80s, and we're just reintroducing it again in a very different way. It's beautiful on. You can try it on if you want.
It's good to see. It's good to see old techniques being celebrated.
For sure.
I think, yeah.
Now we're all about the time-honored techniques, and we're all about preserving heritage. Here, our values in Azza Fahmy is heritage, 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 maintain your heritage. And your heritage is so rich.
Remember where you're from.
Exactly, exactly.
Talk to us a little about Amina Ghaly, the designer, and kind of what she's brought to Azza Fahmy, and your relationship with jewelry, and kind of what's led you to where you are right now in this collection.
I think, you know, when you feel you're destined to do something, I think every person has a calling. And I think since I was very young, even though my mother had done jewelry, but it was like somehow I acknowledged that I wasn't to follow her footsteps, that I was actually born to do this.
Okay.
This is not
with or without her.
Exactly. This is not a job for. Of course, she paved the way, and it made it easier for you. For sure.
You've got an inspiration that.
For sure, you've got a beautiful mentor. But I mean, the first time I ever pierced out a ring, I was 17, and I remember my heart pounding. I was like, this is it, this is it, this is what I really want to do. My effect on the brand came from the fact that I studied in Europe for 6.5 years or 6 years, and naturally everything in Europe is so different, the culture is so different. I lived in Italy, I lived in England, I was going all around Europe, and that started coming in my DNA, even though I come from Egypt. But actually in your mature years, while you were studying, you're exposed to a completely different culture. So when I came back, I was completely obsessed with one culture. My mother came from a very different kind of obsession, where she was obsessed with everything vintage and ethnic that had a story.
A very different school.
Exactly. And together we started bridging that gap and coming up with a new product. And I think this is the product that you've been seeing for the last 10 years. It's, you took what Azza Fahmy, the person, has been doing since 1969, and then gave it a new look.
Okay.
But still maintaining the consistency of what the brand is all about, which is heritage.
Okay. When you're talking about the school, and when you're talking about kind of sharing the knowledge and sharing the experience and so forth, how important is that to you?
It's extremely important. You believe it or not, when we came to open the school, everyone thought we were mad. They were saying, why are you creating competitors? We did not see it as that. We saw it as giving back to the community. We have become good in design. How can we put Egypt on the map in terms of a jewelry hub? Lebanon is known for being a fashion hub. Why can't Egypt be a jewelry hub? Why can't we have 100 Azza Fahmys available in Egypt. And when you travel abroad, that's what Egypt becomes known for. It's a jewelry hub. It's a great jewelry
Especially
hub.
that Egypt and craftsmanship are, I mean, history.
Historically,
yeah.
we're amazing. Amazing, but sadly, craftsmanship has been dying all over the world, not just in Egypt, because it's being replaced by machinery. It's much cheaper, but we want to maintain that heritage. I love that the fact that we have books that are being written on the Egyptian jewelry heritage that are actually being used. For instance, we had people who were doing a lot of movies and they say we look at the Azza Fahmy book for references because it's accurate.
Well, Azza Fahmy now is in museums.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, that within itself.
She's been awarded a doctorate degree for her knowledge in jewelry, and I think that's what makes this brand very special. There's a lot of depth in it. When we did collaborations, like you were talking, we have done several fashion collaborations, but we also have done collaborations with museums, something like the British Museum, where it's a completely different aspect of the brand. You give a very historical kind of depth to the brand.
Okay. Speaking of how many people are part of this, how many people does Azza Fahmy employ today?
I think 285 now. I mean, I might be off by 10 people, maybe 295, but we're about 285 employees.
That's incredible.
Yes.
Well, basically, I just want to thank you for this. It's been such an honor, and I'm blessed to be around such beauty and to be in such a place that so much has kind of taken place.
Thank you for coming.
Really, it's just been such a pleasure. Thank you, and keep doing you.